Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Anna. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today we're going to get a little messy and play with texture. We're making a no stress tropical seascape, and this project is just as much about the journey as it is about the cool painting you get at the end. So let's approach today with an open and experimental mindset. And if you enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a like, comment with your thoughts, subscribe, share with a friend, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. It goes a long way in supporting the channel, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so for this piece, you'll want 140-pound cold pressed watercolor paper, some washi tape to frame up your piece, a watercolor palette with some blues, yellows, and reds. And today we'll be using a round brush. Mine is a number 12. It's about the right size for the canvas. You'll also want some cotton swabs, and then you'll want a spray bottle to activate pigments, a couple jars of water, and of course, paper towels. Oh, and editing me here, if you have some sparkly gold iridescent watercolor, that would also be great for our finishing touch. And I know we're doing a seascape, but I've oriented my paper vertically, and I suggest you do the same. I will explain why in a minute. But once your paper is all set up and oriented, go ahead and spritz a nice bright yellow in your palette with water to activate the pigment. So once the pigment is activated, take your brush and load it with water like I'm doing here. Then load your brush with some yellow, and then you're going to take your brush, and you can start on either the left or the right side, but start at the top holding your brush sideways and roll the brush down top to bottom. And once you get to the bottom, reload your brush with some yellow, and we're going to do that again. But this time leave a little white space between the first strip and the second strip. And you can have those strips intersect halfway through, and once you get comfortable, you can start coming up from the bottom like I'm doing here. Just play. This is a fun, simple way to create texture. And you'll want to work your way across the paper, leaving white space between each strip until you get to about the halfway point. And this brush rolling technique is part of the reason I have us orient the paper vertically, because I think it's a lot easier to do the brush rolling top to bottom than it is across the paper. Plus, I think it helps you focus on the process rather than the outcome, because you're focusing on trying to make a fun texture, not a seascape. So once you get to the halfway point, load your brush with water and start blending out that last strip over into the white space that's left. And just use long, smooth strokes to draw that color over. And you'll probably end up with a slightly graded wash that's darker near the strip and then lightens as you move out. And once the yellow's blended out, go ahead and let it dry. And while the yellow is drying, we're going to take our color palette and we'll activate the blues that we're going to be using for the next couple of layers. I'm going to start with this rich, warm, medium blue. So I've activated it. My yellow is dry. So I'm going to load my brush with water, load my brush with color, and then I'm just going to retrace that yellow footprint I left from the first layer. And this technique we're doing right here is called glazing. And since the underlying yellow watercolor is dry, when I layer this translucent blue watercolor over the top, you can still see the brushwork from the yellow, and that combines with the brushwork of the blue, and then you get this complex texture. So that's another great texturing tool. It also adds depth and luminosity. I use it all the time. So while that blue is drying, I'm going to work on the sky. I've activated some red, and I'm going to start with a brush roll along that last bit of white space that we left. And then I'm going to pull the red across to the other side of the paper. Now this coverage is pretty uneven, but that's okay. We're going to be making a lot of clouds. So that uneven layering is actually slowly building texture for us. I'm also going to add a vignette by putting a strip of red on the very right-hand side and down the sides. This will frame in our sky and give it a gritty film-like feel. Now we'll continue to build texture in our actual sky. So what I've done here is I've tapped red into random sections of the sky area. And now I'm taking a wetted Q-tip and lifting some of that color. This is perfect for creating a cloudy texture because in places where the Q-tip makes direct contact, that creates a bright spot or a highlight. And since the Q-tip is wet, the water diffuses into that surrounding color. So you get this soft light and color gradient from the highlight all the way to the concentrated color that becomes the shadow. Now, another way to continue to build texture is through the wet on wet technique. So we've got this red watercolor foundation, which is still pretty damp to the touch. So I'm taking some yellow and I'm tapping the yellow into the more concentrated red areas. Now, what this does is it diffuses the yellow naturally into the red. So you get areas that are a little more yellow, a little more orange, and a little more red. The overall result ends up being a soft, natural, yummy cloud-like texture. And while that's drying a little bit, I'm going to add this last blue into my piece. So this is a darker, cooler blue. I've activated it. And just like those other layers, I'm just retracing my steps with my brush, just rolling the brush over those strips like we did before. All right, so once I finish this bit, I'm actually going to turn the canvas so we can see what we've been building here. I really like it so far. Now let's just do some refining. So as you can see, the white spaces that we reserved actually serve as the crest for our waves. So to refine this a little bit, I've wet a Q-tip and I'm just blending out the top of the crest and the bottom of the crest just a little bit to give that kind of soft sea spray sort of texture. Now I don't want to go overboard, a light touch should do, so this looks good. Next area we're going to work on is that vignette I had mentioned earlier. So I had initially put a red frame around the sky area. Now I'm going to take my darkest blue and I'm just going to kind of trace a very thin frame of blue around the entire piece. The blue is going to bleed toward the center a little bit and give us a dark feathery frame. It'll also help draw your eye into the center of the painting. And while I'm working with my darker blue here, I'm going to go back and just add a little bit of shadow right underneath the crest of the waves that will give a sense of depth and like they're curling over themselves. And you'll notice in areas where I do add in the blue that that color diffuses down and it creates these natural color variations that makes it look like the water's catching the light. And again, it just adds to the visual texture of the piece. And I think the key to a piece like this is remember that you're playing. Don't get too caught up on any one texture or any one specific look. It's an experiment, so just see what happens. Be curious. And speaking of, I'm going to turn my attention from the waves back to the sky. So in working on this next layer, I think I'm just going to add a little more red and a little more yellow into the sky and see how that color diffuses and just work with it. Remember, you're a collaborator with the water and the color. It's not so much about making the paint do something. It's more about seeing what it wants to do and working with it. For example, I'm trying to make a sun over here on the right, and I just don't think it's going to work out. But that's okay. I'm going to play, see what happens, and not get too hung up on any specific outcome. And actually, I was interrupted probably about 5 times while I was trying to record this video. The dog needed to go out. I ran out of recording space. I had to make lunch. I kept being interrupted, but in a way, it kind of helped me break my focus on making things look a specific way. So sometimes distractions can be helpful. So I learned all kinds of things, not just about painting, but about life in general while I was trying to make this seascape. And notice how while I was off being distracted by all manner of things, that sun I was trying to make turned into a beautiful cloud. So sometimes what you put on the paper just needs a little time to blossom. So give it some breathing room, I guess, and give yourself some breathing room. But all that being said, I do still want to add a sun because I want there to be a focal point. So I think I'll just add one at the very center and see if that'll work out this time. All right, so I'm feeling pretty good about this sky and I love all this texture that's showing up. I think it's looking lovely. So for a final touch, I want to work with this gold iridescent watercolor. And what I'm going to do is I'm just simply going to trace over the now dried strips of water in the bottom half of the painting. It just gives it a little extra oomph. Again, this is not necessary. But I feel like being extra because we're playing with texture, and I just want to go all out for this one. So, if you have it, great, play with it. If you don't worry about it. Your painting will still be gorgeous. All right, now as the final finishing touch, I'm just gonna add a little paint splatter, our final texture. So I've loaded my brush with some of that gold iridescent watercolor and a little extra water, and I'm just tapping my brush over the paper, and it's giving those nice splattery specks of gold all across the painting. And while I'm finishing up here, I just want to take a moment to let you know that if you enjoy these relaxed art exercises and fun chit-chatty painting sessions, that I do have a Blue Sky account and I post a weekly creative prompt every Monday. So if you're looking for a little dose of inspiration to start out your week, go check that out. I also have a website with prints of my original artwork and a few fun accessories, as well as a gallery with artist notes. And I have a blog, and I just published this month's blog post. It's about how the music we listen to shapes the art we make. I have a bunch of other, I think, interesting posts on there as well. So I've linked the site and the Blue Sky account in the description of this video. Go check it out. I would love to see you there. And that is all for today. Here is the final piece untaped. As always, thank you so much for creating with me today. Until next time, take care.